Hi Scrappy friends, this is Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club, and we're having some great fun today over on the Hip Kit Club Facebook group with lots of online crop, lots of challenges, lots of games, and I'm taking part in the YouTube hop. I have been working with the April kits, so I have the main kit, the embellishment kit, the project life kit and the colour kit. Now my challenge and what this layout is about is using 3 colours on your layout, so your layout should predominantly be pink, peach and blue. So I decided to use the colour kit, the April colour kit, to make my layout, and what I'm doing there is I'm just adding some of those fabulous Lindy's Magicals onto the background. I've used a piece of marshmallow and I've sprayed them with a water spray, so you can see how the colour goes crazy and spreads out. It didn't spread out perfectly in some places, so I've had to add more water. My layout ended up very wet so I had to dry it with a heat tool, and you can see that I'm just trying to spread out the little clumps of powder that I've got there, and spread them around a bit extra, but that blue has really spread beautifully. I've also now what I'm doing is just added some water to those little powders on a craft sheet, and I'm just using my paintbrush to pick up some colour and add some extra splatters around those same colours. So I've used the 3 colours that came in the April kit, and that is the blue, which is called Tilt-a-Wheel Teal, Pink Ladies Pink and Fuzzy Navel Peach. So they're the 3 colours that I've used. Now that layout is seriously wet, so I had to go and dry it with a heat tool before I could figure out anything else to do with it, because I literally couldn't lay a photo on top of it or anything because it was just drenched. So lots and lots of water, but I love the way that it's dried. It looks really awesome. I love the colour run and everything else. So definitely give that technique a try. It was good fun to do. I loved watching the colour spread like that. So now I just need to create the rest of my layout. I am planning to use the stencil on the background too, but for now I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my layout. So I wanted to add some of these flowers. They're from the April kit and they're from a sheet of Dear Lizzie It's All Good collection, so I'm just fussy cutting a couple of those out. I really liked the pattern on the back of that paper, the B side, which is a navy blue with a large pink spot. Here it is there. I'm just gutting the middle of it, and I decided that I wanted to use that as the frame around my layout, the border of my layout. Now hindsight tells me I should have stuck it now, but I didn't. I waited until I'd finished all of the mixed media stuff before I stuck it down, and it warped significantly, so I ended up with a slightly wonky layout. So you'll see what I do about that later. So I'm just adding this paper by Paige Evans Horizon. That paper had exactly the right colours in that paper, so I just wanted a small amount of it to layer up behind my photos. So literally mounting my photos on that paper. And a few other bits and pieces up. Okay, so here I go with the stencil. So I am using my Lindy's Magicals to mix into a white texture paste. It's called Spun Sugar. It's by Shimmers and we received it in the December colour kit. I'm just adding a small amount of the powder to a small amount of texture paste, and I'm applying it through the Paige Evans Stencil that came with this month's colour kit, directly onto the same areas of colour. So I'm applying peach texture paste onto the peach part of the layout, and pink texture paste onto the pink part of the layout, and blue texture paste onto the blue part of the layout, obviously. So you'll see how that comes out. It looks really good. I didn't need a lot of powder to add to my texture paste to get a really intense colour. Those powders have some serious pigment in them. And I really like the way it looks. Of course, I'm going to end up covering most of it over with my photos, and that's why I haven't gone right to the middle with the texture paste. I only had a small amount of each colour. I didn't want to waste my texture paste, so yeah. So I had to go and dry my layout, my background, with a heat tool. And then it really warped. So you can see how terrible that is. I tried my absolute best to get it to stick to the frame nicely. that didn't work at all. So I've gone really, really wonky in the top corner, the top left corner, so badly wonky that I didn't know what to do about it. So at the moment I'm just soldering on and carrying on with my layout. I added a little bit of machine stitching across one of the layers that's on top of the photo there, above the photo there, sorry. I left the ends long, which I don't normally do, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to create some little cotton tangles to go on the layout. I wanted this layout to look nice and messy, so those cotton tangles went really well. So that's what I've just done there, tucking those in there. And I'm going to add some more later as well. So here I am trying to fix the wonky part of the layout. I manage it slightly on the right hand side, but when I get to this point I rip the paper. Disaster. These things happen sometimes, and I'm short on time making this layout, and you just think, oh, for goodness sake, why can't everything just go to plan? But it really didn't, and I just had to live with it. You know, it's not the end of the world that my border isn't perfect, and I'll go ahead and combat it later with some wonky machine stitching as well. So I'm turning it into a design principle. Yeah, definitely a decision that I made on purpose. Yeah, right. Just don't tell anyone, okay? So yeah, so my wonky border I'm turning into a design principle, but hey. So I'm just going through the remainder of the fabulous April kits to see what embellishments will work. I've pulled out one of Paige's Horizon layer tags. I've pulled the layers off, put the tag behind my photo and my flower, and then added the layers back on. I'm fiddling around with that charm at the top there. You can see it's a Maggie Holmes Sunny Days charm. Can't get it to sit right, and in the end I lose it. I don't use it at all. But it was the right colour, so I wanted to use it. So I'm just adding my title now. It's one of the 2x2 squares from one of the Paige Evans swatch books. And it says "Get Your Happy On," and that's just a fantastic title, isn't it? So I've used that as my title. And now I'm just going through adding a few tone-on-tone embellishments here and there. So I'm adding pink embellishments on the pink part of the layout, I'm adding peach embellishments on the peach part of the layout, and I'm adding blue embellishments on the blue part of the layout too. I think these stickers here are absolutely beautiful. They are exclusive to Hip Kit Club and are completely awesome. So I'm just going through and adding a few of those, and in particular adding some teeny tiny hearts as well, just getting those bits stuck in place with glossy accents to make sure they don't ping off later. With all the mixed media underneath them, they don't stick particularly well, so just giving them a helping hand there with some extra adhesive. So here I am just adding a few more tangles to my layout, so one down there by the tag, and then I'm going to add another one just here under my title. So just wanted it to, you know, little bits of thread coming out from all places, just getting that in place and stuck in place with some tape. Right, here I am. I've added my wonky stitching. You can see it there. So I went through my sewing machine and I just went crazy on doing two borders completely wonky to bring in the wonkiness, embrace the wonkiness. Okay, and that is me done. So I'm just calling it a day there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this layout, and I hope you're enjoying the online crop. Head over to Lisa Fonseca next. There'll be a link below for the next stop in the YouTube hop. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.